So here's another thing that I work with. Consider the best case and the worst case scenarios. Work from the end back and make peace with both. When I think about those days when I was struggling so much financially, um, I would just say to myself, universe, do your worst. I am going to be fine. I will work it out. I will figure it out, but I am not going to feel terrible for one more minute. Do it. I just do whatever you want. Take my car, take my house. I am not going to worry about it. I'll go stay with friends. I will, whatever. I'll ride a bike. I don't know. I just do it. I am not going to sacrifice my inner well being one more minute. And then that helped me surrender. Maybe it won't you, but for me, making peace with the worst case worked for me. I was able to say, all right, if this is my truth, it's my truth. I will work my way from that position, but I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to worry about it. But the other piece is there's also a best case scenario. And I can't tell you how many people I talk to say, you know what, why don't we practice the best case scenario? Let's forget about the worst case. Let's just play with the best case. And I know, gosh, it's probably been 10 years now. I read an article on, I think it was USA Today. I'm not sure the magazine, but a woman had been worrying about money forever. And she decided, you know what? I just for the next year, for every day, I am not going to worry about it. Just not. And when she got through the end of that year, she was in an incredible financial position, and she had all kinds of amazing things happen to her that she could have never predicted. But I looked at that article and I thought, she didn't know she was playing the energy game. She didn't know she was being intentional, other than she was tired of worrying and she decided not to. But it really was a testament that we can change our lives by changing our thoughts first. And then life organizes around the consciousness that those thoughts create. And that's what we talked about earlier. And all of this leads us to that we have to have a method to surrender, that to get us to that point where we're like, whatever, I'm not going to feel crappy. I'm going to feel good about my life. I'm going to feel good about myself. And for me, some of these are the things that help me get there. I pay attention to myself. It's like, if I don't feel like working, I'm not going to work. If I'm upset, I'm going to do something that cheers me up or that's nurturing. For me, I'm kind of a movement junkie. It really helps me to move my body around. Or if none of these things work, I'm going to ask for help. I'm not going to try and sort it or manage it or carry it alone. If it's too much for me, I'm not going to ask that of myself. And a lot of people have trouble asking for help. They don't want to ask for help. They think that's a negative. It's not. Asking for help is a beautiful thing. It just says so much about trust, and it says so much about other people, that you trust humanity at large, and that there's a goodness in people. And if you think about yourself, if someone asks you for help, darn good and well, if you can, you're going to, because it feels good. So we have to learn how to ask for help when we need it. And the other thing is, when things have been really bearing down, whether it's emotional or financial or whatever, I just remember, what? Now is not for forever. And Eckhart Tolle, of course, is the master of reminding us of now, that now is the only moment we have. And so if we're okay now, that's all we need to think about. We don't have to think 5 steps ahead or a year ahead or 5 years ahead. We only need to think, is this moment I'm in, am I okay now? And if it's a hard moment, well, it's not long before a better moment will come. And then, of course, for me, I spend a lot of time and have spent a lot of time understanding the value of the struggle. Human beings think that happiness is pleasure and comfort. It's just the human condition. But the soul wants to evolve itself. It wants to expand itself, and experiences that cause expansion to occur is joyous to the soul because it expands the greater consciousness as well. So when we understand that what we're going through isn't just for us, that it's for the collective, and it's also for our own collective well-being. When we understand that there's strength we're gaining and that we are becoming better because of what we're doing, if we choose to look at it that way, that if we're always mining the gold rather than seeing how this is serving me rather than what it's taking from me, I mean, that really helps. And I can say from my own life story, which has been challenging at the very least, I get to do the work I get to do, and it helps my life make sense. Makes perfect sense why I would have gone through all the things I've gone through to be able to do what I do. Makes perfect sense. So, but we all have to develop our own method to surrender. And that's a personal journey for you. What causes you to pull the plug on frustration and disappointment and upset? What's going to make it happen? And if we get to a point where we can't make it happen, the best thing we can do is to stop thinking or go to sleep or something. But you have to remember, the more you're thinking about that awful thing that's going on in your life, the more you're feeding that. So if you can just disconnect from that by going to sleep or however you can, that's the next best thing. And ultimately, no matter what's going on in our lives, whatever's working and what isn't working, the goal should be to do everything humanly possible to please yourself, truly please yourself, to be able to laugh, to forgive yourself for anything that you think needs forgiving. Don't hold on to things that cause you to be conditional with yourself. Really learn how to love yourself. Some of us can love others so well, but we can't do it for ourselves. We have to learn how to give to others, how we give that to ourselves. Just as when I was talking a moment ago about help, that many of us don't want to ask for help. It's the same thing. We deserve to be proud of ourselves. We deserve to care about ourselves no matter what the condition of our life is in. And the worse condition of our life, the worse the condition of our life, the more we deserve love, not the less. And take time for yourself in all ways. Whether it's taking time for yourself isn't just vacations. Taking time for yourself means when you are out of balance energetically, take time to get yourself into energetic balance, that you're in a good place psychologically, emotionally, because that's the energy you're creating your life with. It's in your best interest and everyone's interest that you are your best self. When we're out in the world, if we're angry and upset and feeling crappy about ourselves, we're going to behave differently than if we're feeling honored and we're admiring ourselves and our confidence is up. We're going to treat people differently. People are going to perceive us differently. And that impacts directly how we orient to others in the world and how others feel as well. I've often told a story about right after I lost my twins. It was a bad time. It was hard. And one day I finally got my act together, and I still had a big belly from being pregnant. And so I looked terrible, put on my overalls and decided to go to the grocery store. And, my husband at the time wasn't home. So I go to the store and I'm feeling like total crap. But the cash register, I got up to the cashier, said, "Oh, hi, how are you doing today?" And the way she said it was so kind and so upbeat. I just felt her kindness and her personality, and it changed my day. And so I had a hard time getting myself to the store, but I was met with the store with this lovely cashier person. So it just goes to show how our state of being and how we show up in the world can really make all the difference in the world. You know, like Gandhi talks about, be the peace you want to see in the world. It's the same concept. If we are taking care of our own energy, we're taking care of the world. And enjoy your life, because if we're enjoying our life, our vibration is high. It's all vibration at the end of the day. And this is where, if we can focus on energy, focusing on the energy, then we are playing the energy game, and we are above. You have the events of life happening, and then when you're playing the energy game, you're above the events of life happening, because the events are the outcome. They're the manifestation of your creations, of your momentums. And so the more you can put yourself up there to really watch your energy, the happier you're going to be, and the more you're going to turn the table on all of these challenges.